Well,
And
I think the announcer said that. The announcer actually said,
yeah,
you underestimate the fatigue it takes to hold on to a hold, and that one really popped me.
So it hurts more to put on a Boston Crab than it does to have 2 injuries in your skull and neck that never heal.
I'm the one star, Caden Felix, and right now I'm gonna be your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Marvelous James Runyan. Join us as we cast as cast can.
And this is the Cast Can podcast, and we're back. You cast the questions, we catch the truth. I'm Mr. Marvelous James Runyan, and this is
We
my
catch
co-host.
the lies. We catch the
lies too.
And you could consider lies in the fact that what we're about to do here is we're going to be reviewing some wrestling. We're going to be looking at these matches with logic and reason and expose inconsistencies and expose incongruencies that just don't make sense, that even a 5-year-old could see.
And yeah, we thought this would be a fun activity. So here's the thing: we caught a lot of backlash from the last episode, the last controversy we went through. But this podcast isn't about that controversy, right? So a fun activity that we had planned, and we have lots of fun activities coming. So hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and like the Facebook, like the Instagram, get on all of it. But a fun activity we thought we would review a premier Ontario independent wrestling show.
Yeah, you saw it in our last preview. We had a preview episode about this. But
We
now
put a
we're really
preview.
going to expound into the rest of the 4 out of the 5 candidates for Barrie Wrestling Best Match of the Year.
Barrie Wrestling Match of the Year.
Did I say buried? I'm sorry.
Well, we've tongue in cheek called it the Buried Alive review show.
That's right.
It's a pun, guys. Relax. And but so we've got Barrie Wrestling, and there was 5 matches nominated for Match of the Year. And just full disclosure, we watched these in order from the latest posted to the oldest posted.
Right.
So we went left to right. If you look on their YouTube
So
channel,
if you want to
there's
join along with us in the
if Barrie
contest,
Wrestling on
we did.
YouTube wants some rub, there's your rub. You can take some of our insane amount of viewers that are tuning in for us and maybe boost some of your numbers. But we reviewed, and
This is going to be a long one, so let's get right into it.
it's going to be long, and
I took way too many notes.
I think we're going to get into the
Remember, this is our
nitty-gritty.
auspicious, autistic analysis that no one else can provide, with an eloquence and an IQ unparalleled in Ontario or all of indie wrestling.
So you would have seen our first review already posted.
In our sneak preview episode,
Our
you can
sneak
see the
preview.
remains of my notes. On the first match was with the triple threat match between Gabriel Fuerza and Mark Wheeler. And was it Kaz? Was it Richie Rich?
Rich.
What was it? Okay.
So we're on left to right here. So our next match is Kyle Boone versus Gabriel Fuerza. So do you know Kyle Boone?
Never met him.
I don't think I've met him either. That's okay, but I can
So the
still
first
take
thing,
a look at his
we're
work.
critiquing everything we're seeing in these videos as presented by Barrie Wrestling, right?
Yeah, and
So it includes the entrances, it includes
yeah, for
anything,
sure.
all right? And the first thing I want to
watch
comment
the whole
on here
video.
is, because, we're equal opportunity here. We believe in equality, all right? And we've got the presence of a girl wrestler here at the top of this episode, don't we?
Well, yeah, and there was a super heavy kiss that happened, and I mean, that kind of comes off as heelish. You have a guy wrestler with his girl coming out, and this like super heavy kiss that maybe some people didn't want to see. At least I thought it was heelish, but I think he's a babyface. That's the thing.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily agree with you there, Runyan. But what I want to say about this, in terms of the way I look at it, first off, I want to say I don't like girl wrestling. I want to put that out there. It's usually pretty shitty. The next thing I want to say is, I don't feel women wrestlers are usually as fairly criticized and held with their feet to the fire as men are. What can you say about that? There's usually more forgiveness involved, and girls can do it too, and this type of thing.
I can get on with it. I think there is good girl wrestling.
There is. I'm not saying there isn't. Some
yeah,
of my favorite matches of all time
I think
are women's wrestling matches.
I think if you look at it as a whole,
Yeah.
the girls just
But
they're short and doing things as spectacular as the men, and it's just biology.
that isn't even my problem with it. Here's what I want to treat things with equality.
Well, but we'll go to the entrance. What were we gonna say?
Here's what I'm gonna say. So we have what is it? Shiloh, who was one of the commenters in our first episode we ever did, or one of the likes on a certain post, and she comes out wearing, like, we would talk about some of the people who posted about some of the stuff we posted was the superstar test.
Right.
The Vince McMahon superstar test. Oh, you got to stand out in an airport. And you know what? If you don't stand out in an airport with your big frame and physique, at least stand out in the ring. At least be a superstar that eyes gravitate towards. And what did we have Shiloh? I'm not going to comment on anything to do with Shiloh's appearance, which, we could get into that. Maybe we'll talk about that later, but we're not going to talk about that now. I'm not going to talk about her face. I'm not going to talk about her nose. I'm not going to talk about her ass. I'm not going to talk about her thighs. I'm going to talk about her attire and what she chose to wear for this supposed intimate moment, wishing her man luck. And what did she wear? She wore baggy jeans. She wore baggy jeans, all right? She didn't look like a superstar pro wrestler with what she decided to wear in this moment. I mean, you might think that I'm delving into too much detail here, but there's a university study from the UK in 2012 where a psychologist, a woman, Karen Pine, was able to deduce that when women are wearing jeans, that's a sign of depression. And she didn't look like a superstar wrestler who wrestled earlier on the show. She looked like somebody in the audience. And a lot of people out there that we've talked about criticize wrestlers for having that type of appearance, for looking like everybody else. And I'm telling you, Shiloh, that you look like not just like everybody else, but a depressed everybody else. You didn't look like a superstar. I'm holding your feet to the fire in the spirit of equality as a woman, and it wasn't a good start to this match.
What was that metal thing they had on their faces?
Yeah,
Did they
Kyle
both have
Boone,
it? Kyle, I seen Shiloh wear it. I don't know if she was wearing. I forget.
I don't know. I never seen her.
But Kyle definitely had it on his entrance, and but nobody explained what this was and why he was wearing it.
So let's break down Kyle Boone here. So he's got this metal face garb, which is cool.
Is it a face guard?
Face garb.
Garb.
Face
got
garb.
you. Okay, got you.
Face wear. And I don't get it. It's fine. It's unique. It makes me ask questions like, what's up with that? You know what I mean? It's intriguing. But then we look at the rest of his gear and his jacket. It just looks like something you could get at Walmart. It doesn't look like a piece of professional gear like we saw in the last three-way match that was something like a custom-made superstar look-at-me gear. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
It just wasn't congruent. Anything he was presenting wasn't congruent.
Well, but okay, so I was gonna say, I felt like when he came out, he was a heel with his what's supposed to be his hot manager or girlfriend, whatever.
So he's got his manager girlfriend who's depressed because she's wearing jeans, and he gives her a big kiss, which that's not congruent already. And then he's got his metal face piece, and then he's got his jacket that you can get at Costco, and it's oversized, it doesn't fit him well. And then you've got nothing fits together, and then you got his weens, which have some sort of what is it on there? I want to say it looks like a rune, a Scottish rune, or a Gaelic rune or something like this, which
nothing's explained.
Doesn't jive with anything else.
What the announcers were talking about though is how this he's been tormented by the champion Gabriel Fuerza. So there's a little bit of story there, but like I think at this point, like with the announcer saying that, now we're supposed to think he's a babyface, but we're not getting babyface vibes from him. You see what I'm saying? And his entrance is very slow.
I'm not going to be as critical in that regard, but I see where you're coming from.
Well, yeah, but and his entrance is very slow, and like as a babyface, you got to have fire, and you got to make the audience
and furthermore,
want to get behind you.
When you're wearing a face garb, like let's look at the best wrestlers who did that. Because wrestling, can we agree that pro wrestling is all about escalation?
Of course.
So it's all about escalation. So look at who do you think of that wore a great face piece to the ring? I can think of Big Van.
I mean,
do you remember Big Van Vader?
That was like a mask, which
that
I
was
guess
the
that's
big
like the same
elephant mask.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right? Vader would wear the big mastodon, and then he would take it off, and there was an escalation. Because once he took that off, there's this big fat head in this weird mask. And he's got the bulging eyes, and it's a surprise. Somebody else who did it well, the Great Muda. Do you remember the Great Muda? Only his eyes are visible. He's wearing this ninja mask. He pulls it off. He spits out a spray of mist, and he's got this crazy war paint.
And I think to your point, the two examples you just listed, those fit together.
They fit and they're escalations. But
escalate.
here he daintily takes off this face mask,
Which
and now
we
he
don't
just
really
looks like a
understand
regular
what it
dude. They haven't explained why it's relevant, and now you've de-escalated things, and you're just a dude now. First, you're a cool dude with this like hip, weird with face jewelry.
Cool. That was weird.
Whatever. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Fair enough.
And then now you've just de-escalated things. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I think essentially the point is as a babyface getting ready to win this world title and blow off this big feud, I wasn't really getting behind him.
And throughout the match, we're finding out that he had a neck injury he's recovering from, but they didn't make it that.
You're jumping ahead here. We got to get to Fuerza's entrance.
We do, but to me, they should have made that clear already. If it's going to be clear later.
Well, but
right?
and this is the thing too. Everybody's got to be on the same page for what the story is, but when you watch the match, I don't think anybody's on the same page of what the story is.
Yeah.
So Fuerza comes out, and
and again, good like before, good entrance. I don't like it as much this time. I don't like the mask because again, we're talking about that escalation aspect, and you're just adding this Dollarama mask for no reason. You had a great entrance. That was the best thing I liked about your presentation of three-way Fuerza was your entrance, and now you're adding a hat on a hat with this stupid mask.
I couldn't get on with the music. It was some kind of rap.
Right.
Like I can get on with your example of like Good and Bad and the Ugly and that kind of vibe, but then it's like some rap that he probably personally likes, and it's like that again, talking about pieces of the puzzle fitting together. I don't think that fit what this is.
We get on to the announcements. We can barely hear the ring announcer. And to start off, Boone is he's serious to start, and Fuerza is just chilling. So they're maintaining their gimmicks.
He's a tough heel.
Yeah,
I guess.
So we got some chain wrestling to start. Fine. Boone takes a headlock.
Well, he takes a headlock, take over, head scissor, and then they do this thing that I personally pisses me off, where it's like headlock, take over, head scissor, and then they both stand up and just stare at each other. Like there's like, why did you stop?
Right.
Like if you're wrestling and you're grappling, you pull apart and then just stop. So that kind of frustrated me. But I can see how that's a me thing. I
like how Boone pushed the ropes out of the headlock. We get a chop by Fuerza that's ineffective. And to quote Jerry Lawler, "Why chop when you can punch?" The rules here, we already saw them broken at one point, and now we get a chop thing. Here.
It was a no DQ match.
Yeah, that's right.
And they didn't say anything up until this point.
That's right.
The announcers
wasn't clear.
But even the announcers didn't say.
The commentators,
yes.
They were confused themselves.
They were confused themselves.
They were admittedly saying, "Is this no DQ? Is it not no DQ?"
And again, like all being on the same page, the commentators, the announcers, the ref, the wrestlers, they should all understand the story that's being told, and they should all have their sails.
Absolutely.
Their sails of the boat should all be sailing in the same direction.
And then Boone is out wrestling Fuerza after there's been cheating, and it's like, okay, are you cheating? Are you brawling? Are you fighting? Are you wrestling?
They're not sure.
It's just all over the place.
And so, but then of course they go to moves, which, and I kind of laugh at this too, where it's like, you come out and you lock up because you want to wrestle, and it's like that's what we're supposed to do. That's what I was taught in school. But then they just completely ignore the wrestling the rest of the match.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it looks like Boone. Do you remember this? He takes the advantage and he grounds and pounds Fuerza. He starts punching him like crazy. It's like, why now? What deserved this?
Well, yeah. Yes, and it was also the babyface throwing the first punch.
Yes.
Which I think that rule is kind of cliched. But regardless,
But with the context they provided and the wrestling they've done.
This is exactly what I'm going to say. Yeah, like with the context that we're dealing with here, there's no reason for the escalation, especially when he's in control with his wrestling.
Like, why now?
Right.
Then Fuerza, blatant eye rake, arm twist whip, and it's like, are you in a fight or are you doing technical arm twist whips? You know what I mean? Like, we're brawling and now he's doing technical moves. It's just back and forth. Like, what the fuck is going on? And
so then at this point, I think the commentators started putting over the animosity between the two.
Yeah, but we're going between fight and then technical, sexy, fancy moves.
No, and I know, and I think he's trying to explain why they're escalating from the technical stuff. But and I was like, why weren't they explaining this on the entrances? Because as someone that's watching this as cold as I am and you are, I didn't know anything of anything.
Okay. And there's a lot of back and forth here. Fuerza goes for a dive, no. Fuerza goes for a boot, no. Fuerza goes for a spot, no. Boone casually, he does that Samoa Joe style evasion of a move here, and the audience doesn't bite onto it. Like he's showing he's smart and casual now when they're in a bloodlust death match fight, like they hate each other. Well, he just casually goes out of the way.
Not only did they bastardize the context.
They bastardize the emotions.
Well, yeah.
They're fluctuating between emotions that don't make sense.
They're not sure if they actually hate each other or not.
And then we're 3 minutes in.
But actually more than that. It's
no, I timed it.
Why do you have to tell the audience you're smart when you do that? And that's what pisses me off.
I mean,
I wanted to interrupt you.
There's a time and place for that, but this definitely isn't it.
It's just overdone.
Fuerza gets thrown into the steps 3 minutes in. Boone. We get a belt to the face. Fuerza goes for a belt to the face. He holds up the belt for heat. Is this a receipt? Like there's no heat here because it's been shown that this is no holds barred.
Well, this is the thing. But Boone was putting heat on Fuerza for a bit. So Boone was putting heat on him, and then Fuerza took over with the belt.
Yeah.
And again, it's like.
Is this trying to be heel? Like back to your point earlier, we've talked about.
I don't know. They're both putting heat on each other, and
because to me that was a fair move.
And they only kind of hate each other, but they kind of don't at the same time.
And then he holds it up like, "Look at me." But if there's no rules, are you really cheating? Like, why is there heat?
We talked about this in the last match. And then the powerbomb.
The announcer even says, don't DQ it. It's confusing. This is where he makes a comment about that. And then we get the big powerbomb on the steps. This is 4 minutes into the match.
Yeah.
And we've seen a powerbomb onto the ringside steps. Fuerza poses with the belt walking around more after this.
And again, it's like, why do you put that here? What did you get out of it? Because like it didn't make the audience believe that the match was going to end.
Yeah, because obviously, I mean, like it could have, but
it absolutely could have. I would like to think that it could have.
Yeah.
But instead of trying to throw your opponent to the ring and pin him,
he's not trying to win.
He gloats to the crowd, and even when he's gloating to the crowd's not giving him any heat. So like that's.
Yeah, because they've both shown they're bending the rules. Like there's no context anymore. Here.
But he goes around the entire ring with the belt, gloating, and Boone's just kind of laying there, like with his dick in his hand, just like I'm a babyface you're supposed to get behind. He was just laying there the whole time, waiting for him to come back.
So now at this point, is it at this point that the announcers make it clear that Boone had a neck injury finally?
I don't remember when they first mentioned it.
I don't either, but I think it was
definitely inconsistent.
Yes, and now they're making a big deal about this. Remember, this is 4 minutes in. We just saw this power bomb and all this crazy shit onto the steps, and now Fuerza's focusing on the neck. We throws him in the ring, neck breaker. He's toying with him.
He focuses on I think he goes to focus on the neck, but then he goes and gets a door. Which is conveniently under the ring.
Yes.
Which that bothers me.
And during all this time, Boone is still chewing gum. Did you notice that?
Oh, I didn't notice
He's
that.
chewing gum this whole
Well,
time.
I mean-
After this, he's in the ring. He's in like, dude, this should be like not the type of heat you see on Saturday Morning Superstars. This is WrestleMania
main
level
event blow
neck
off, yeah.
injury, 20-minute match heat where he's fucking dead after a fucking powerbomb in the steps,
4 minutes
and the
in.
dude's chewing gum and with a neck injury after he got powerbombed on the fucking steps.
I think the theme with all these reviews is that there's just no attention to detail and the realism.
Absolutely. Here and there, he'll do the handshake to show, oh my God, my neck is hurting. He'll grab the neck a little bit. But really, this is just like any other heat we've seen in any other match on these reviews, isn't it?
And even like,
But he has a freaking broken neck.
And
a
they're-
freaking broken neck.
they're going through this, and I think Boone fought up at one point.
Or
but
fractured skull, too.
that Boone fought up at one point, and the crowd just totally wasn't behind him.
And the announcers say about those injuries, they never heal. They never heal, but he's selling the same
he's pretty
amount
fresh.
that you would see in any match we've seen.
Yeah, the selling was lacking.
So we got heat. Okay, that's fine. He's grabbing his neck here and there. Okay, but he's not selling like it's fucking a devastating injury. Is that fair to say?
No, the selling was definitely lacking. Especially if you're relying on that as the crux of the story, which is that he's being tormented by this heel. He has this neck injury he has to overcome, but the neck injury just didn't really seem prevalent throughout the entire match.
So you mentioned the door. So they're fighting over the door, which is under the ring, which is, as you mentioned, it's stupid. They're fighting over this stuff. There's reversal, blah, blah, blah. Finally, Boone. He has the opportunity to go to the top rope. And it looks to me like it's going to be a Shawn Michaels sell. When he's got that bad back and he's selling and he's climbing the top rope. It looks like it's going to be that. But then he leaps and rolls into the ring with these injuries that never heal, according to the announcers, after he got fucking powerbombed on these injuries on the fucking ropes, and he does his cutter. He points to the door, and then we get a few reversals. And
But also,
all
like,
sorts of shit.
It's like he goes outside just to jump back inside and do a rolling cutter.
Yes.
And it's like these illogical move selections that just don't. You just,
When he's selling,
you just shove it in there because like this is what I want to do.
Finally, he's selling like it's death, but then he just jobs it out with a fucking roll.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
Furthermore, in addition to what you said, so that's absolutely preposterous. We got a bunch of shit, blah blah blah, reversals, tiger suplex, and then after the tiger suplex, Boone wiggles his fingers for literally half a second to show that his neck is in pain. Where's hits a pile driver, and I think that this he hits a pile driver, which is a devastating move for the neck, obviously, right?
right.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, or you think differently. I think a lot of people, a lot of these type of guys, when they think of storytelling, they misunderstand storytelling for this. To them, this is a story. His neck is hurt. I do many moves to the neck. I do a powerbomb on the stairs. I do a knee to the head. I do a neck breaker. I do a pile driver. I'm focusing on the neck. I am telling a story. And that's what this feels like. How do you feel about that?
I mean, sure, but
And
it's
obviously that's not a story. That's just like, I'm doing moves to this.
It's
spot of the body.
It's missing so many gaps,
Obviously.
right? And I think,
But it feels like that's what they're equating to storytelling. Is that fair to say?
yeah,
That
but it's like
it seems like that.
it's like if you're missing the in betweens, it doesn't.
Well, that's my whole
the audience.
point.
The audience doesn't register it. It
Well, that's
doesn't,
my
it
whole
doesn't
point.
correlate. And
Do you think
like,
I'm not
here-
saying
here-
that,
here's the
Runyan?
thing- Here's the thing. No, I'm getting on with you. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to maybe rephrase it because I totally get what you're saying. I'm vibing. But here's the thing. Is a power bomb to the stairs worse than a pile driver? I think potentially. But then.
But they're both massive. Like
They're
when
both
they're trying to
massive
sell
moves.
this next shit.
And you do this.
Arguably, the pile driver could be worse. I'll give him that. But again, it couldn't be that bad. But
But
we got lots more to go.
Well, yeah, this was nowhere near the end. And
Yeah.
and they didn't really and he never really worked the neck, like, you know, grab a hold or something, grind on him, you know, get
Yeah, and he's not selling it like
God forbid you get heat, right?
he's doing these somersaults and these rolls while he's just oh, it
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah, just
Oh,
like
let
little
me do this
tiny-
for half a fucking second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyhow,
no belief.
Forza hooks on a Boston Crab, okay, smartly going after the spine, whatever. But then he just lets it go.
Yeah.
Then he
that
just
was-
lets it go. How long did he have it on?
That, he grabs the Boston Crab and there's just the crowd just no. There's just no.
Because
no
obviously, in a match like this, there's no disqualification. He can't get to the ropes. So Forza sort of painted himself into a corner in this situation
Well, his
with
thing
this
is the
Boston Crab.
It must be the Boston
And-
Crab. Or that's
Right?
why
Oh,
they do
shit.
it.
Like, you could just crank it. You could just hold it. You could keep him there as long as possible. Forza jobbed himself out by letting this go. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you have a hold, especially in a no DQ where he can't get out without any, like, there's no rope break. Sometimes they allow rope breaks.
And he didn't even really
But-
make him suffer.
But he didn't grab a rope break. Yeah, and he didn't work the hold. And then he just let it go
Well, the
like
question
it
is,
was
did he
nothing.
get tired? Does he want to torture more?
Well,
And
I
if
think
he
the
wanted to
announcer
torture more-
said that. The announcer actually said,
Yeah.
you underestimate the fatigue it takes to hold on to a hold, and that one really
Yeah.
popped me.
So it hurts more to put on a Boston Crab than it does to have two injuries in your skull and neck that never heal, and being abused on those touch points within a 10-minute time frame repeatedly on steps and with a pile driver and with everything else.
The announcers are at least trying to
Okay.
explain stupidity.
Okay. All right. So then next, okay, Forza chops, brain, spits, and 0 to hero. We got a 0 to hero. Now they're shot for shot. After all this focus on the shine, they're shot for shot, and they're equal. They're equals now. Why? How can they be equal at this point?
And I'm lost.
There's a separation. Forza does a back spring. No. Boone headbutt. He headbutts. He does a fucking headbutt after he has a fractured skull and an injured neck. He headbutts, and guess what he sells? Do you remember what he sells here? This is a bit of trivia.
I probably don't. 'Cause the
He
selling is
sells
so
his
poor.
forehead.
Oh, his
He
forehead.
doesn't sell his neck. He doesn't sell his spine. Where the fuck? He sells his forehead. Is that what was fractured? His forehead? And then you're headbutting the guy? Okay, fine. This is preposterous. Running knee for 2. Okay. Forza selling the neck more than Boone was selling his neck.
Mhm.
Forza single leg, no sell by Boone. But what do we got here? And now Forza goes after the fingers. So I guess maybe because Boone was wiggling his fingers.
He
Forza
wants to
goes
take
after
those
the-
away.
That must be what hurts. Forget the neck. Forget the head.
Yeah.
He's wriggling those for 0.5 of a second. Okay.
And you know what else? While all this is going on, I just kept writing this down. The crowd is silent. The crowd is silent. They can't
Yep.
emotionally invest in this.
There's
One, because
absolutely
it's-
no emotional
there's
investment.
no. It's all phony.
They're paying
There's-
attention. It seems they really want to.
Yeah, and
And then furthermore, after Forza attacks the fingers, the hands, Boone uses them for a double punch to the gut to stop Forza. So Forza targeted the fingers. He's selling those, but now he can use them. That's what he goes to use to get the advantage. So they're just inconsistent selling in every fucking regard.
and yeah, like I literally just kept writing. Okay, more moves and crowd doesn't care. More moves and crowd doesn't care because the moves really didn't matter.
The commentators called it a headbutt somehow, but it definitely wasn't used as hands. But more hands being used. A big chop. Why does he keep using his hands? Like, was this on the fly? Where does this say in advance? I'm gonna target your hands. Did he do it in the fly? Because now fucking Boone is using his hands. All right. Every here and there, he's touching his neck.
It's almost like the move doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Not that any of them do.
Did we get to the Death Valley driver yet?
Into the door.
Yeah, so he puts the Death Valley driver through the door, and then he picks him up and gives him another Death
A
Valley
regular
driver.
Death Valley driver.
Because the regular one's supposed to be worse than the door.
Remember, we're talking about escalation. We saw it in the entrance.
Yeah, that's
he has his freaking
de-escalation.
face gear. Then he takes it out. There's a de-escalation. Then we do a DVD into the door. Why not do the regular one first, then into the door? So it's an escalation, which is the whole point of pro wrestling.
or
You don't
just
start
do
the
the
match
door.
with a power bomb, but apparently here we do. In a video game, you can't even pick Vader in a video game, Fire Pro Wrestling or No Mercy or whatever the best wrestling game you think is, and do a freaking power bomb. You gotta work. You gotta earn that. But here they're doing a power bomb 3 minutes in.
The video game has more logic and reason.
The
than
video
the
game has
wrestling
more
match.
logic than this match. Okay. And then
They get another door now.
another door. Because door, I mean, we could go on a tangent how retarded doors are in pro wrestling.
Not only do they have one door under the ring, they have 2 doors.
Yes. Which is just, and the announcers just accept that. Oh, there's doors under there.
Yeah.
Tables I can understand. You need merch tables. You need ring announcer tables.
I think that's what's evolved with independent wrestling, whereas doors are cheaper, so they just start using doors.
Yeah, but they don't even have a logical reason. Like,
No,
I could
they
accept
don't.
if they fought. Let me say this: if they fought into the crowd, and all of a sudden they went in the locker room, and now there's a door pulled from the locker room, I can accept that. Is that fair to say?
I think that's better explained than what they did.
Absolutely. Just there's doors under the ring. Just accept there's doors under the ring. We just put them there so the wrestlers can mutilate each other. All right. So now the door's in the corner again. Is that right?
Yeah, so they put the door in the corner, which is going to lead into the next thing, which is, I think Boone did a Michinoku driver,
Yep.
and again, the crowd's dead.
And he's slapping the mat. He's desperately
Oh
begging
yeah,
for
oh
it.
yeah. No, he's trying, but I don't think he knows how to try. But then we get
Here
we start getting the afterbirth where we get the interference and Shane Saber comes running out. And then my question was, why did he wait so long?
Right. If it's no DQ, if it's whatever. I mean, did he just come out of the shower and notice something?
I know he didn't look like he just came out of the shower. He looked like he was in his gear.
Yeah, it's just obviously they wanted something exciting here. They're like, well, let's put some interference here. Why now?
Yeah, why not?
Why anything?
So
Shane
spears him through the door.
And what's the count on that?
It was a 1 count.
I think it was a 0.
Because maybe it was a 0. I might have been rounding up.
Saber eats the door on a next spear attempt. Fuerza gets a 2. Yeah. Boone Uranagi. Boone Brainbuster. 2.5. Boone Pile Driver. No. Reversal. Boone is grabbing his neck here. Then we got what happens here towards the finish?
I've got Fuerza Cutter, Sleeper, Let's Go, Pile Driver, 2 Pile Drivers, 3 Pile Drivers.
Yes!
Shane's still
Repeated
dead.
pile driver.
I
Holy
wrote down Shane's still dead.
Repeated
He's selling
pile
this
drivers.
door. He's so much less tough than Kyle Boone
Then
with the
Boone
neck
got
injury.
power bombed 4 minutes into a fucking ring steps and through the door and everything else, and Shane Saber's fucking selling.
And Shane has a vested interest in this outcome, but he's just helpless to wake up.
And then
help
what's
his
the final
buddy.
finish here?
I just wrote down Boone wins because I don't think it matters because the crowd wasn't into it.
I don't remember.
I mean, the crowd is
no one in the crowd probably did
Watch
either.
the crowd. Tell me I'm
No
wrong.
one fucking cared.
And if you think I'm wrong, come on the podcast and we can talk about it. But we have a pretty long list, growing list now of people declining to come on the podcast. It's kind of funny.
We do. People are vague posting. People are messaging us privately, telling us how stupid and shitty we are.
Yeah, whatever.
They don't want to come on debate. They don't want to prove their points. They want to say.
Watch the crowd. Watch the crowd.
And then there's a post-match celebration here.
Of course.
There's a big fat dude carrying out Shiloh. I think his name's Grizzly. He tries to lift Boone up, but he can't. He can't. So he drops himself out on being the biggest guy we've seen. And then they have to lift
killed
him
his
up
own
together.
gimmick.
Yeah, he kills his own gimmick. So that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that.
Right. Wait. Did you like this match?
It's not my best match.
It wasn't the best match.
2 pages of notes on this one.
I don't.
It's not my vote. It's not my jug of piss.
Well,
You're going to see that later. You're going to see my number 1 jug of the week. It's happening with one of these matches.
Let's stop spoiling. I know we got 3 matches left. Let's not spoil who your vote was.
Oh, there's 3 more. Okay, I'm not going to say.
I'm not gonna. I haven't said who my vote is yet.
I haven't either.
But I
There's
haven't
3
said
more.
who's not my vote.
That's true. I've been provided a little more spoilers. But I won't do that. At the very end, I'll tell you what my favorite
Do you want
was.
to cut?
Tune in to
There's
the
a lot
next
to be
episode.
desired.
You're gonna find out which one is our true favorite and which ones don't stack up. Catch ya later.